Alright, here we are back with a few tiles put down. I got 7 of them put down. Um, Going so far so good. The only problem I've had so far is I've overcompensated with adhesive. So I've had a few places where it's a little bit thick, and when you get to the edges kind of, they don't want to line up. So going forward, I'm going to pay kind of a special attention to how thick I'm putting down the adhesive. I think I might have put a little bit too much down into some of these tiles, and so as you can kind of see, I've taken my hand roller and tried to squeeze as much of the extra stuff out at the edge as I can, but that's the only problem so far. And you can see I've stopped because I'm going to have to make some cuts along all of these areas here. So for now I'm just going to let that be, because it will take a while to make the accurate cut and then place the tile down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of continue out back towards the door, laying the full tiles that I can, and then after a few hours I'm going to come back and start to trim up some of the tiles I need to cut and put those down. Alright, I'm back in the corner here again after laying the other tiles, and I'm going to start making some cuts here. So the first one, what I've done so far is I've just kind of laid it down, and I made an etch on the edge here of where it's going to line up with the other tiles and then still leave a gap here. Now you can see I have quite a ways underneath my wall there, but I'm going to have to add a wood filler strip so I got something to nail my trim to. But as far as the expansion gap, that's about where I want my tile. So after making that mark on the corner, I took it over here and then I used my building square and butted up against the edge of the tile. Took that and traced a line down on the edge of the tile. So then what I'm going to do is come again from this other side, finish up that line. I'm going to take my utility knife and make that cut there, and then I'm going to put this cut edge towards the wall, so I have that nice factory finished edge to place against the other tiles. And from there, the other 3 tiles that I'm going to be laying before I get to the toilet flange area here they're going to be the same cut. So I'm going to take this little strip that's left over and then use that to mark the other 2 tiles and make those necessary cuts and then glue those down in there. Alright, I just wanted to show this here real quick. After making the cut, what I did is I finished that line off, and I used just my utility knife to scribe a line through it, and I cut it deep enough to where it gets to the backing of the tile, and it's kind of like a drywall almost, where you can just kind of snap it a little bit and then take it over and flip it over and then use a utility knife to cut it from the back there, so that way you got a nice neat trimmed edge. And I tried using the tin snips first, and those didn't seem to be making the kind of cut that I wanted. So they may work for you, but I'm going to stick with the utility knife for me. Alright, I'm working on my cut still, but I just wanted to show this before I continue any farther. As far as the toilet flange goes, I can either kind of shoddily trim around it, or I can try and match it as accurately as possible. It really doesn't matter, since most of it will be covered by the toilet bowl anyways. But what I did is I took my tape measure here and I measured from the distance from the tile to about underneath the flange, and I marked that along here on the tile, and then I came here and measured that, which is about 1 inch, and then I made my inch line right here. And then what I did is I took a piece of paper and made a round circle to match the diameter of the flange, and then I just put that down and buttered it up against the 2 lines here and then traced around it. So then what I'm going to do is I'll just take the utility knife and make a couple crisscross cuts through there, and then I'll be able to trim that circle out there, and it hopefully should fit right over the flange. Otherwise I might just need to make it a little bit bigger to fit it over, but that way I don't have to try and piece a bunch of pieces together, and I'll try and keep it one full tile, and then that way I have a good strong edge to put that piece from there to the wall when I do that. So I'm going to continue making my cuts, and then I'll turn it back on and start gluing some down. Alright, as you can see here, I have all of my corner pieces cut. The one thing I wanted to mention about that also before I glue all these down is also just to be mindful of the direction of the tile. It's kind of easy to forget when you're trying to make the cuts on the tile or trim one up. but always try to follow the every other vertical and horizontal type pattern. So I have all of these cut in the right direction, and I have also this piece cut out for the flange. It fits good, so I'm going to go ahead and glue all these down, and then I'll finish up by the vanity.